Yeah, they're talking about.
Yeah, they were gonna speak it over the top.
Oh. I see what I'm just guessing it. That's, I seen your that. I don't think it's gonna.
So I'm gonna stay for it.
Today you have. Agenda and stuck to the saddles.
Ian, here it is. I was hoping this was just a quick.
I don't believe. To me, like, that's not what you're gonna hear. Hundred be as bad as the day the kids came down and sat in front of Steve Duncan with signs that said, "Why do you hate the library, Mr. Duncan?"
9 o'clock.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Please rise. Commissioner Cotis, lead us with the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Loving God, as we gather in this season of light and hope, we give thanks for the gift of peace, goodwill, and new beginnings. May our words and decisions today be guided by wisdom, respect, and care for one another. Help us work together for the good of our community, with generosity of spirit and a commitment to justice and compassion. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Our first order of business is the approval of the minutes for December 4th. A motion to approve those.
So moved.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. Treasurer's report.
Morning.
Morning.
Expenses and bills were reported to the treasurer's office. We have accounts payable, a total of $579,174.36. Payroll for the period was $395,452.38. 911 account had checks and EFTs totaling $16,748.62. LEPC had 3 checks totaling $3,730.69. Liquid fuels account, 1 check totaling $8,292 even. And finally, CDBG account, 1 check for $870.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
So moved. Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, bills are paid. Continue, Diane.
Okay, the treasurer's report for the period beginning 12/3 and ending 12/16/2025. We have a general account starting balance of $1,674,524.56. Total debits for the period were $3,801,903.86. Rounding out the period with an ending balance of $3,123,342.41. And the reserve account ended the period with $7,264,273.26.
Okay, Diane, it seems like it's a kind of a heavy ending balance there. You're just gonna leave that there.
That's your call. I serve at your will, I guess, sort of, kind of, in a way.
I just pointed out.
Yeah,
It looks like you got money from CY. You got $2 million from CY.
We did.
Is that
There-
that's probably a back check from the
That is-
state
that is
for-
a
for
shuffling.
months, no, but no budget. That's something you didn't anticipate. I'm sure.
Okay.
Well, it's reimbursement.
yeah, through
right.
September.
Okay. Any other questions for Diane before I ask for a motion? The motion to approve the treasurer's.
So move it.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. Meetings and events. I didn't even think about it. I will get a list to the chief clerk on my meetings and events for the past week or so. Commissioner Wise.
Attended the monthly meeting of the veterans, went well again. It's a good organization, and Kathy has the rest of my meetings and events.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Codish.
Chief Clerk has my meetings and events, and I'd like to welcome Sierra Williams and Reese Miller from MCTV here today. Thank you for filming for us.
Okay, thank you. Next public comment, looks like we might have public comment today. Welcome, everybody. Is there public comment?
Yes.
Okay,
So,
please, come up to the podium and, spell your name.
so my name is Nevada Lee. And I am a former employee of the Mifflin County Housing Authority. And a couple of these people are here to just make you guys aware of some things that are going on that they are unable to get resolved with the authority. They're mostly gonna come up here and give you their own thing, but with me being a former employee, the first person that's gonna come up is Timothy Foltz. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of background of his unit prior to him being transferred, which is what he's gonna discuss with you. Tim's lived there for it's around 20 years. When he,
Years of,
yes, so when he originally moved there, because of his disability, the housing authority worked with OVR. His apartment was completely redone in the downstairs for him to accommodate his wheelchair. It was made ADA compliant. The unit that he was put in was a larger unit than what he typically would have qualified for. At that time, though, it was followed through procedure with the occupancy policy and approved by HUD, because in the 4-bedroom unit that he was placed in, the downstairs was bigger and it had a bedroom downstairs. The 2 and 3 bedroom units did not. Everything was upstairs and there was a half bath downstairs. The authority and OVR took out a closet that was downstairs, remodeled the bathroom so it was a complete roll in, roll under the sink, ADA shower, the whole 9 yards. He was forced to transfer to another unit recently, stating that he was overhoused, which we had known that for 20 some years, and it was okay for him to be there like that. He was put into a unit that, while handicap accessible because there was a ramp outside, the unit was not ADA compliant. From April 11th till the last week in September, he was unable to shower because he couldn't get in the room with his wheelchair into the bathroom. In September, they came. They did take out a partial wall to make the entrance to the shower wider, but there's still no turn radius in there. They didn't move the controls. His seat for the shower is in the back of the shower. The controls are in the front. He can't reach them. He's going to tell you that. I just wanted to state why he was in the unit where he was before, and there was nothing wrong with him being there.
Okay, so let's hear from.
Yep.
I do want to point out that this is public comment.
you got 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm keeping it. 10
Okay.
minutes.
Please. And your last name again is Fultz? FULTZ? Thank you.
I was told I had to move, and I brought up about my shower. And it was dropped for a while. Then it all come back up again. And I come down, I looked at the place they wanted to transfer me to. I told them the shower was not acceptable, that I wouldn't be able to get in. And we went back and forth a little bit. Then finally, Tiffany Walters, she looked at me and said, I don't care. This transfer is going to happen regardless. So the transfer happened. When I signed the papers to accept the place, I was told by Tiffany, if I didn't sign them papers, I'd have no place at all. I was either going to be there or I didn't have nothing. Reluctantly, I signed the papers and accepted it. Now it comes time to do a release again. I refused. My wife signed the papers. I refused to. I said, I'm not signing anything more until I'm able to get a shower.
Okay, thank you. Any other comment?
Did you say that your stove and your sink and all that, what is?
Where I was at, I was 98% independent. The only thing I could not do there was my laundry. That was it. My wife did that. Where I'm at now, I'm not even able to cook. I can't get up to the stove to see my food or anything. The kitchen table, I still eat at my kitchen table. I don't eat in my living room. I eat at my table. But in my kitchen, for me, and even my wife to get to the stove, we got to pull the table across the kitchen so she can cook. and do dishes. And if I wanna go out back, I gotta push the table back across to get out the back door. That's how tight the facility is. There's no room.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Full. Anybody else? Sure.
While we're talking here, you can look at, there's one.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa.
Lisa,
Batesel,
spell it, please.
Baitsell. I lost the picture. This is bed bug bites. On Tuesday, November the 25th, 2025, my sister Renee that lives in the Coleman House under the Mifflin County Housing Authority called Ronnie Black to report that she had bed bugs. She did not get a call back. I as well that day called. On the 26th, same phone call, same person, no answer, no call back. Me as well. Monday, December the 1st, Renee called Ronnie Black at 11:30 a.m. And then she told her, Ronnie called her and told her that she would be inspected for the bed bugs. That she said that they would be there December the 3rd or December the 4th. They never showed up. Ronnie then said to me, well, why didn't you report this earlier? As soon as we figured out that Renee had bed bugs, I reported it immediately, tried to report it immediately. As of today, I still have not got a phone call from this woman. That's Wendy, whoever she is. I don't know. Don't even know her last name. Don't even care. And so I'm not going to read this anymore. I'm just going to say it in my own words. So my sister could not spend Thanksgiving with her family. She's mentally challenged. Who knows what this is going to do with her mentally? Evan, I think you graduated with Renee Wolfkill. Okay, so you know what, you have a picture of what she's like. So now she cannot spend Christmas with us. Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to get her out of the apartment. I actually got her out of the apartment the other day by showering and getting clothes into the laundromat and blah, 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 blah. Had to take her to the doctor. She now has a skin infection because of it, because of the bed bug bites. And I have that paperwork right here if anybody would like to see it. They said they would exterminate on December the 31st. That'll be 36 days from the day we reported. This is not right. From what I've found out, there are at least 15 apartments in there that have bed bugs. There may be more, there may be less. There's a man there that reported October the 31st. Still has not heard a thing. 2 days ago, the exterminator was in there spraying the hallway. Renee saw him and said, hey, are you going to do my place? And he said, no, but I'll come in and inspect for you. And he said, oh, yes, there's definitely live bugs. There is shells, but I can't do anything for you. And he felt bad for her. But this is just going on too long. Now that she's infected, I have to take her to the doctors. It's not right. I called several people. I've called John Fetterman's office. I have called Judy Ward's office. Of course, I've talked to the Housing Authority. Now, finally, they're answering the phone to me. Wendy still has not contacted me. I have called everybody. Melissa Stewart, I've called everybody, everywhere, anywhere. Anybody gives me a name, I call them. Because this needs to be resolved. This place needs to have a heat treatment, I feel, to get it all done. And then a preventative measure. Actually, they told me that Orkin was too busy. They could not get here any earlier, which I did not believe. So I called Orkin and they told me it was a lie. They're only giving them so many apartments a week. And they tried to get a preventative measure in there set up, Orkin, and they absolutely refused it. So there's many more complaints, but this is my main concern for my sister's safety and her physical and mentally.
Okay, well, thank you, and that will be included in the minutes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Because we're running out of time for public comment. Sure, ma'am, come on up.
make more time, I'm sure. Yeah. All right.
My name is Joy Rooney.
Sorry, last name, please.
Me.
Okay.
I live in the Lawler complex. I had a clogged sink. I reported 3 times by phone, 3 times in person, and they would not come. It took over a month of me pestering and bothering and trying to get them to come and do it, and they wouldn't do it. They only have maintenance 1 day a week, which is Thursdays. And they have all those places to take care of with 1 day a week. That's ridiculous. Anyway, it took me going down to the office and I wanted to talk to Wendy. I wasn't allowed to talk to Wendy, so I talked to Tiffany and I actually had to threaten to call HUD before they actually came to fix it. So it did get fixed, but after a month. Then the lights, the street lights that's in our complexes, there's several that are out and it gets very dark in there. And you have a lot of elderly people that walk with walkers and things like that, and they can't see in the dark. And I reported that, 4 or 5 months ago. And they came around, they tied yellow ribbons around all the ones that were out. And they're still out. They're still waiting. My list can go on and on and on. I mean, there is also bed bugs in the Burghards on the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
And there's a girl that lives on the 1st floor. And she lives in a 2-bedroom because her grandson lived with her when she moved in there. Now he's moved out, so they're trying to make her move to the 2nd floor, and she's refusing because she knows that there's bed bugs up there. So now they're threatening to throw her out if she doesn't comply with them. So that's another thing. Like I said, I have a long list of stuff throughout the last few years. 2 of my neighbors have been without heat over weekends because they don't have anybody on call anymore. So the last year there was one. And he called, didn't get answered. He called like 15 times. Finally, on the one time he got, and she told him, we will bring you heaters out. We can't get anybody out to fix it over the weekend. Well, they never brought him a heater. So he spent the whole weekend without heat. This year already, one of my neighbors spent the whole weekend without heat because they don't have people on call anymore on the weekends. They used to always have somebody on call. So that's another situation. Let me see what else. I mean, my mind's a little scrambled right now, but there's many things going on. When Nevada and them guys were in that office, things were snapped. You know, whenever something needs done, it was done. Since this woman took over, everything's going downhill. They don't care about the tenants anymore. They care about money. That's all they care about, you know, and it takes forever to get them to listen to you. They make you feel like, you know, because you live in housing that you're not worth the air you breathe is what they do. And it's not right. They closed the laundromat down at the Lawler, and they closed that one completely. And there's a lot of people that live down there that are very handicapped. And now they expect them to walk up to the building to Burghards and do the laundry up there. And that's not right either. You know, there's people relied on that laundromat down there. And now it's gone. They have no access to it. It's still there, but they're not allowed to use it. They have to go up there to the building. And that's crazy. Some of them people can't walk up there. Some of them don't have cars even, you know. I mean, there's just so many things that are going on that need change. That woman needs to get out of there. Ever since she come there, it's hell.
Okay, well, thank you for that comment. Any
I'm
questions?
sorry to interrupt, but I forgot one important thing. The elevator at the Coleman House has been out since last Friday.
Yeah, it goes out at least every other month.
Well, it needs to be fixed. It needs to be done now, not just played with on last Saturday. Somebody was there. There's handicapped people up there that cannot get downstairs.
Lisa, your phone's up here.
Oh. Leave that somebody with God knows anyway. Thank you.
was Brenda Shire. And I live in Swing Manor. And in April, our pole light went out in the parking lot. And I've been trying and trying to get housing to fix it. And I started in June, because I figured I'd give them time to get it fixed. In June, I started calling. Ronnie Black never calls me back. I've gone to the office, I've gone to Ronnie Black's office, and when I've been in there, she says, oh, well, we don't know whose pole it is. We don't know who owns it. So I called Penelec, and Penelec said it's Housing's pole. And so I went back to Ronnie Black's office and I said to her, she said, well, we'll have to figure out who has a bucket to get up there. That was in June. And I've been calling, my neighbors have been calling, I've been leaving messages. And I told her in September, somebody's gonna fall. Soon we're gonna be turning our clock back. And it's gonna be dark real early. Some people aren't even home from work before it gets dark. And I said, somebody's gonna get hurt. Well, I happened to be the one that got hurt. I was coming home from Bible study and it's pitch black. And I was trying to get to the sidewalk. And I didn't realize I was that close to the sidewalk, so my foot hit the sidewalk and I went down, and blood running from my head. And thankfully, my neighbor lady was still up and she stopped the bleeding and took me to the ER, and I have records of that I didn't bring along because I just learned this meeting last night. But I've been trying and they still have not fixed it. And it took them a month to get me an incident report paper to fill out, so I filled that out. And they still haven't fixed it. And I wrote on the end of the incident report, I wrote PS. Not that I wanted to be the one to fall, but I'm glad it wasn't the lady with all the kids, little kids, because she has a newborn she carries on her chest. She has a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, and maybe a 3 and a 5-year-old, you know. She can only do so much. And if it would have been her that fell, that baby would have been dead. And my husband doesn't live with me, but he comes down, and the one time he comes down, he got to my door and he says, you can't see a thing out there. You know, and
Okay, well,
they don't listen.
okay, thank you. I mean, no disrespect, we're gonna have to move on. And get the impression that there are others that may want to say something. Yes, ma'am.
Just arrived. I didn't know about this meeting. I have a chance to speak. I have a complaints.
Well, I am presuming that your complaints were taken to the housing authority.
To a new resident or from the refusal to assist.
Okay, because you all understand that the housing authority is an independent authority, and the commissioners, while they appoint the members to the authority, are not operating the authority. So we certainly sympathize with your stories and your conditions. And we will certainly follow this.
Mr. Ryan, I was unaware of this.
Well, what I'd like to do is proceed with our meeting. If we need to,
Come back and get on the agenda.
you could come back and get on the agenda instead of the public comment, which because public comment is limited to a certain time. And again, I think there are people that want to say something here.
Here, this is her place, and she got hurt.
Okay. So again, we mean no disrespect to those that have something to say, but we are gonna have to move on. Okay, and again, I'm assuming you were at housing authority meetings.
No, they do things.
Well, those are public meetings, ma'am, so you certainly have a right.
It's over today, so how do you know? I just found out that at the last minute, I just showed up. I had an appointment to take her right now and we're here instead. Because they don't like to let you know what's going on because they're doing things behind everyone's backs. And she got hurt on a result of negligence and we have a violation case going on right now.
Okay.
All right,
Well, there are reasons.
it's obvious that these problems are very real. We'll communicate with the board members.
They're aware.
Commissioner Wise is our liaison. He didn't serve on the board, but he observes the meetings. We'll communicate with the board.
I've heard, I'd like to meet with all you if we could, even in a group sometime or something here very shortly. I would actually want to do that, but I have heard some of the issues and stuff and,
Okay, she got
not the latest one there, but I am aware.
the result. And we're going,
Okay, I do remember speaking to you about that.
and they've been giving me the runaround.
Okay.
We still haven't fixed it. And we got her and she was well again. She's back from the nursing home from Brookline.
Okay. Again, like I said, I want to meet with all of you and take my notes and stuff.
You may stay, once we get through our meeting. Certainly, the room's gonna be available to meet,
Good for you.
okay?
Okay.
I welcome any of you to my place
You
anytime.
can come over, yes.
You're welcome.
I will
to
do
my
that.
place Anytime.
We're
We'll look it
neighbors
up and
right
see
now.
which one.
Okay.
It's the handicap units that are neglected.
Okay.
And I'm sure
Not just handicapped.
very,
All right, again, we're gonna proceed with that, with our public meeting and certainly, please stay or relax outside if you like, and we can certainly talk after the meeting. Okay? Thank you all. New business, we're gonna need to recess this public meeting. For Jim Letier. You are going to brief us on the county's comprehensive plan.
Yeah, I'm gonna introduce our consultant, Steve Thomas, who's gonna discuss the public hearing that you're going to enter into here to discuss the adoption of the county comprehensive plan, and then I'll say a few words regarding the actual resolution adoption. So I want to introduce Steve Thomas, our consultant from Michael Baker International.
Morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the time on your agenda here today. This is always an exciting opportunity when you get to the end of a comprehensive planning process. It typically takes about 18 months. First, I want to thank the board for their support as well as the Planning Commission support. I want to commend Jim and his team for their input, their guidance, their support, their direction, and their the help in the development of the comprehensive plan. We're very excited about the product that's been produced. We think it's really going to serve Mifflin County moving into the future over the next 10 years. So we did begin this process back in July of 2024, which is hard to believe. Commissioner Postle, you were at our public hearing back in June already of 2025. It's hard to believe it was already that many months ago. We did have an extensive public comment period. We had an online public survey that ran most of the fall and into the early new year of 2025. So that was really great to have that opportunity for the public to come out and participate. We had an open house over at the school. And so we had the chance to have folks come in and learn about what's going on through the planning process. And really, what we really discovered is that there are some critical issues that the county wants to look at. You know, there are things that were come up as far as economics and housing and transportation and land use. And so what we developed is we developed these connections to help solve those problems. We have a series of about 19 action items to pursue over the next 10 years. If you look at a traditional comprehensive plan, I think the previous one was about 400 pages long. It was a really great plan to hold up other plans. And, you know, being a former planning director myself, I'm fully aware of what that looks like. And so what we've created is a more nimble, agile, flexible plan that comes in about 85 pages. And really what we identified as these primary 19 action steps that are achievable and attainable and implementable over the next 10 years. And I think that's a combination of not only Jim's office, but also the community as a whole. That was really the great part of this opportunity is that we had stakeholders from across the county. We had leaders from different community organizations participating. You know, we had economic development folks, we had housing folks, we had visitors and tourism folks. And so really it creates to sound redundant, a comprehensive plan that it's not just the county planning department that's going to move this forward, but rather it's the county as a whole. And so we're really excited about that opportunity. So we are here, and it's always a great day to have There's your plan up for consideration and adoption. I'm sure Jim will be able to enjoy his holiday season a little bit more now that, the plan is done and then he can hit the ground running in 2026 with trying to implement some of these strategies. So I'd be glad to entertain any quick questions or allow Jim to come back up and say a few words.
So you are done.
We are done.
You are done, right? Okay. And that plan is obviously going to be on our website, right, Jim?
Correct. It is on there now.
Okay.
And one thing that we've done too, sorry,
All right.
Mike,
No, go ahead.
we have the traditional comprehensive plan, which is again, it's about 80 or 90 pages, a lot of good contextual information, all the background information, demographics, patient network analysis, all that good stuff. But we also developed is a short executive summary. This is about 8 or 9 pages long, and it really gets to the quick hits of what's a comprehensive plan, why is it important, what are we going to do, and how are we going to move forward. We feel like this is a much more attainable document for, if different agencies, your conservation district is pursuing grant funding, or you're participating with CEDACOG on a transportation initiative, really gets right to the point. So that'll be available on the website as well. Jim's been great at pushing information out.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Thomas? Okay, then what we'll do is reconvene the regular meeting to pass the resolution.
I think today represents a milestone for the county and the county planning and development department. And this is a major accomplishment in my career and for the county. The plan is entitled Mifflin County 2035, a decade of progress. It was, as Steve pointed out, it was done with the involvement of a planning advisory committee, and without their knowledge and input, it would have been very difficult process to get through. We had experts in all the fields of housing, economic development, school districts. We had the Juniata River Valley Chamber of Commerce. We had the Visitors Bureau. So we had a breadth of knowledge and wealth of information to work from. We had experts, and without them, we couldn't have done it. So this resolution is representing, as he mentioned, is an implementable comprehensive plan for the next 10-year period. And I do want to thank the county commissioners for all their support. I do want to thank these planning advisory committee member and Steve Thomas and his staff did an excellent job, in my opinion, drafting the plan and creating a final document. Also want to thank the commissioners for getting a consultant, Delta Development, to help offset the cost for this plan, which was represented 50% that you secured through DCED, through municipal assistance plan, to offset the cost for the county. With that said, I think everything was mentioned here. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
We acknowledge the hundreds of hours that were spent putting this together and leading it. Okay, anything else for Jim?
I'm sure we'll find something else for you to do.
Yeah.
I'm ready and willing.
Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So move. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We're down to B. Request from Burnham Borough to extend the term of this agreement. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, the commissioners in the borough entered into a subrecipient agreement in May 2025 for a loan in the amount of $300,000 to be used towards the Burnham Boroughs Authority's wastewater treatment plant headworks improvements project. The terms of this loan agreement was a lump sum loan payment made June 4th to the borough in the amount of $300,000 along with a promissory note requiring full repayment by January 31st of 2026. County commissioners received a letter dated December 5, 2025, requesting an amendment to the term of the loan with a request to pay $150,000 by the end of January 31st of 2026, and the balance to be paid by January 31st of 2027 due to a delay with commencing the project until the middle of 2026 and a completion date of late 2026 or early 2027. It's my understanding commissioners would like to amend that request and have $150,000 be repaid by January 31st of 2026 and the balance paid by June 30th of 2026. That's my understanding.
Yeah, well, I believe this is, I'm personally speaking now, that 6 months at a time, certainly we could reconsider after the June or the July 1, 2026, whatever that date is. It just seems like if the project is scheduled to start in mid-2026, what would be the need for the money after the project starts? So, and certainly if it's delayed, we'll reconsider. That would be my suggestion for the except the 150,000 as proposed by January 31st, 2026. It will be refunded into the county's capital improvement program. We all know that. And then extend the remaining balance until June 30th, 2026, reconsideration after that. Okay, if we agree, is there a motion to that effect?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay. Clear, Jim? You know what that?
Yes, sir.
You can continue.
Next item is regarding the election of a county engineer for 5-year period. We're required under PennDOT regulations to complete this process every 5 years, provide opportunity for other firms to solicit their proposals to the county and to PennDOT for consideration for a civil engineer, along with technical engineering inspections for projects within the county on an as-needed basis. We have currently used the Eads Group for the last 5-year period, which ended June 30th of 2025. Therefore, we had to solicit for a new engineer with PennDOT. Their procedure required the selection and appointment of a selection advisory committee, which comprised myself, Kay Semler, Will Campbell, and Chris Price. 2 of those 3 members are planning commission members, and Kristen is a staff in the planning department. We had met on December 10th with PennDOT and the steering committee to rank the proposals that we received. There were established criteria in the matrix that we have shared with you. There were published and unpublished comments in the ECMS system, which is PennDOT's system for management of projects and permitting. And the rankings came out for the highest would be Keller Engineer, followed by Joseph Lehman and Dewberry. PennDOT produced a memorandum to Chairman Postal regarding the acceptance of this process with the final ranking, as I just mentioned. And if you're in agreement and vote favorably, Chairman Postal would sign this memorandum and we would move forward to begin proceedings with contacting Keller Engineers for the county engineer for the next 5-year period.
Okay,
Currently, they are under contract with the county for bridge inspections for all bridges that were 20 feet in length, and that'll expire next year in September of 2026.
Just to clarify, the methodology that you use to rank the 6 is published. We didn't compose it, did we?
No, PennDOT composed the published
Okay,
comments.
so it's
Engineers were able to view that in the ECMS system.
all right. So all the engineers had access to what they were going to rate it on. And PennDOT provided the technical assistance to our group. PennDOT provided the technical assistance
Yes, they did.
to our group.
Correct.
Okay, anything else for Jim? Motion. I'll entertain a motion to appoint the county engineer for the years 2026 through 2021 to be Keller Engineer. Our motion. I'll make the motion to get it on the floor. Is there a second? Thank you. Any questions on the motion? And what we're doing? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Are any opposed? What's the story? You oppose or Abstain or what?
I think we had some other questions pertaining to not just the rankings or anything like that, but if there's any other option, could we possibly use two if necessary? Could we? Or if we accept this, is it Keller's, that's it?
Based on my understanding, is we can't use two firms. I
Uh-huh.
don't think that's possible,
Yeah,
but
I
I
didn't
didn't
do
double check. I think we could only use one.
To go back to your earlier point about the bridge inspections, that's up next year. And that will be available for open bid again.
That'd be correct.
I'll vote to approve.
Okay.
Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, Jim. Request for exoneration of per capita taxes, Wayne Township, Union Township, Branton Township. There are a motion to exonerate the tax collectors from collecting per capita taxes in Wayne, Union, and Branton.
So moved.
Those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. We're amending an action taken on December 4th. I guess this is a correction. To exonerate the Decatur Township tax collector from collecting per capita tax in 2025. It was presented as 76 exonerations. The corrected total is 10. So we need to correct that motion that we made in December 4th. Okay, is there a motion to make that correction?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion passes. We reappoint Alana Hartung and Kevin Kodish to the Cedar Cog Board of Directors and the Cedar Cog Local Development Corporation. These are one-year terms. Motion to reappoint Ms. Hartung and Commissioner Kodish.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion passes. There's a slight correction here. What the agenda item says it's encumbering $40,000 liquid fuel funds for the maintenance on Shawver Road Bridge. What we're really doing here is encumbering $40,000 for the replacement and reconstruction of the bridge on Jacks Creek. Is there any explanation, Dwayne, did I say it correctly? Okay, so what the agenda item states is that it's for funds, encumbered funds for Shawver Road Bridge. It's really to encumber funds for Jacks Creek. Okay, we clear on that. There a motion?
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion passes. We have the certification of county funds for the 2026 Farmland Preservation Program. This is in our budget for 2026. It's our contribution is $37,500. It's also supplemented with Clean and Green from 2025. So the total is $52,803. I do, just so you know, I do sit on the Farmland Preservation Board. We had a meeting yesterday, last night, to discuss future projects or future farms to be preserved. There was no action taken on those farms, but this is a contribution for 2026. It will be made known to the board. Any questions on that? Okay, if not, is there a motion to certify the 2026 Farmland Preservation Programs for the year 2026 to the amount $37,500 with Clean and Green of $15,303?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Application for liquid fuels allocation. We have Derry Township, Granville Township, Juniata Terrace, and Burnham Borough. Derry Township will purchase equipment. Granville Township has line painting scheduled. Juniata Terrace has rock salt to purchase, and Burnham Borough has street signs and marking. So the four projects in their liquid fuels allocation or motion.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We have a laboratory services agreement with Geisinger Lewistown Hospital for the correctional facility, and Warden Permanick can tell us about it.
So this is not a new service, but It's a new contract. Geisinger Lewis Town Hospital provides us with laboratory services. They come in, do lab testing. We've been using them for years. This is just a contract, basically making it available. No changes in services, billing, nothing like that. It's just new contract, but not new services.
They bill us as needed, I guess.
Yes. Yep.
That is continuation of what they're already doing, we're putting it in a contract. Any other questions for the warden? Not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that is approved. Okay, Jason, you're still up.
So PA7 contract, this is just an annual contract that comes up. This relates to the jail working with this program, all the computer data, everything that goes with it. From PA7's website, PA7 is a service that lets victims of crime and other concerned citizens access timely and reliable information regarding offenders. PA7 is offered free of charge to registrants and features multiple language support. And on their website, without going through all the phone numbers and website addresses, if you just search PA7, it'll come up. And this has the contact information, tells you a little bit more about 7.
Yeah, we have this already.
Yes, it's just about every year it comes up for renewal. Basically says we will maintain the equipment and do our part with data. And entering information.
You guys gotta report when they leave, so that the victim services can tell victims.
Yeah, so
That
it's
the guy that
time
beat
for-
me up
Yeah,
is
yeah.
now leaving jail.
Yeah.
We did that. I was at DA's office when we started this
Yeah.
years ago, so it's important. for
Yeah, it is.
And and the courts, DA office and victim services.
Everything's tied together in the county. Our jail management system, our electronic inmate records, whenever somebody leaves, it automatically goes through Savin and kicks out a notification via email, text to anybody that's registered.
If victims register, yeah, if they get registered, it goes directly to them. If not, Jamie calls them because she'll get it. You know,
Because
Okay.
it just maintains all the support on our part.
Okay,
So they are notified then?
yeah,
Regardless
if you register, it
if-
goes straight.
Okay.
Like, if
Okay,
you
but
would
if they're
register,
not, like you said,
Jamie would get it, and then
Okay.
Jamie would call, or do whatever, try to get in touch with whoever it
Okay.
was. But then we do encourage everybody to register. And I know Jamie goes out of the way to get people registered when at the end of a case, when you get a sentencing done and the case is done, that's when you register, to get in there. But it's a great program.
If you just go, like I said, search VA Vine, it gives you the ways that you can register either online or via the telephone. And again, you can sign up for which notification you want if you're a victim as to when somebody is either transferred or released.
Yeah, they do transfers too, don't they? They're like, if they're going to a different prison, you'll know that they're in.
yeah. They do, right there.
I think they do. Yeah, they do.
Okay. Any other questions for the ward? If not, is there a motion to approve the contract which runs from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st?
So
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you, Jason. We have a professional services contract with J Wade for $191,568. This is for phase 3, I believe, of the library or Mifflin County Learning Center where the library is located, then the streetscape and site work along the building. It is financed through the RACB grant that we already have been awarded. So this is a contract to allow J-Way to get started on that project. Again, you see the amount. Question?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. We also have a services agreement with J-Way Architectural for design, bidding and contract for the historic courthouse exterior restoration for $282,750. This is phase 2 I believe, of the project. Phase one, as we all know, is underway and is probably about 80% completed. So we will get started on phase two. Again, this is financed through the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program with a match from county. Questions on the contract?
Motion.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, those contracts are approved. We have an application for the adult probation grant and aids. Nick Wolfkill, explain this to us.
Yes, so this is our adult grant need. We get this money annually. And we use the allotted amount, which is the salary of our adult supervisor.
Okay, so this is a continuation, I'm sorry.
Yes, it's a continuation. It's something we get annually.
Okay. I see it ends, it's actually started, it ends June 30th, is that?
Yes. Yep, it's an annual thing that we get released every year.
Okay, $42,931. Questions to Nick?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thanks, Nick. Do I have, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead with the next one.
So the next one is our intermediate punishment grant that we are applying for. This is one that our department applies for every time it is released. Our department's got a big belief in this. This is kind of a last chance effort for people before they end up in state prison. So this helps eliminate jail time, whether it's state or in our local jail, getting people out on electronic monitoring. We get them set up with treatment, risk and needs evaluations. Every service that we possibly have is offered at this time to try to help keep people stay local and give them one last shot at things before ultimately going obsolete if it is a failure. This also helps with drug tests, paying for the electronic monitoring, so helping people that otherwise might not be able to afford it, and all the treatment and stuff that goes along with this.
Part of it goes to Tri-County, Juniata Valley, Tri-County?
Yes, because they help identify the people at Central Court and get them services set up immediately. The sooner we get them set up with services, we feel like the better off they're gonna be.
Or a lot of these subsequent DUI, that's
A lot of them
That's
are,
right.
yes.
So really what you're looking here, guys, subsequent DUI offenders would have mandatory minimums that would take them to the state correctional institution, but for this program.
The request is for $95,000.
When you say when it's available, is that yearly or just? when it's
Typically,
available?
so sometimes you'll go a year or two without seeing it. But every time it is available, we go for it. Find it to be a very good grant and a very good service to.
Have we gotten it in the past?
Yes, we've gotten it many times.
Anything else for Nick? There a motion?
Motion. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have public defender legal services agreement with Attorney Ferguson. This is for the period 2026 through 2026. $28,692. Our public defender will explain this to us.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is consistent with Bob's amended contract last year. This was a multi-agency contract. This is not exclusively the public defender's office outlined on the agreement. His amount from years previous has been reduced because with the indigent defense grant, we were able to remove the conflict position and reduce our budget by $1,000 for 2026. This is consistent with the standard agreement.
Okay, any questions, Sean? There a motion?
Move. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, tell Mr. Ferguson he has a contract, and next is Mr. Baker.
Yes, Your Honor. Sir. See where I spend most of my time.
Yeah, where you're at.
Get that title.
I will get them a road. I might get you a road for
Black
Christmas.
Road. There you go.
See if you can borrow one. This is for Attorney Baker. This is a annual contract, part-time assistant public defender position. This is fully funded through the defense grant.
Okay. As a result of the indigent defense grant that we have received.
Right.
$35,000 to be paid bi-weekly. Is there any questions on that? Not, is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Opposed? That is approved. Okay, continue. I see Melissa Stewart is also part of this modification of the indigent defense grant that you just mentioned.
Yes. So we are requesting to make a project modification request to year 3 of the grant. As a reminder, this is non-competitive, so it is just they use the formula to allocate us so many dollars, and then whenever they announce it, we have a short turnaround time to decide this is what we want to use the dollars for. So year 3 started July 1. We have ordered some things, and there's some things we've also determined that we didn't need any longer, even though we had put part of our original request. Therefore, we had to shift some monies around, and in order to do that, we have to submit it officially through PCCD.
I get mixed up between the years,
It
but
was, actually, we have years 2 and 3 are active. They overlap. It's very confusing, but yes.
The year 3 is effectively 2026. We've just been able to start spending.
Yes.
Effective July 1st of 2025.
And in year 3 will end December 31st, 2026.
I know that it's by formula, and
Yes.
we have been, some counties have been turning money back. We have been using all of our money, I assume. Okay, and they seem to allow some flexibility if we approve this and it turns out that we need to change the line item.
Yes. That's what we're doing now.
Oh, we're doing it.
Year 3 has already been approved. We're just wanting to change some of the line items.
Okay.
That there was filing cabinets listed, and we were able to secure filing cabinets that weren't in use here, therefore we didn't need to purchase new ones. Just simple things like that,
Okay.
that we ended up with additional dollars, so we added some things to change what we were doing.
And if I might just add to that, one of the things came up when we did our initial application. We had these large, areas of funds for, office supplies and things like that. And questions were raised, well, do you really need all this stuff? And we said, no, we are not likely going to need that stuff. But if we don't fill that space with something, we lose that money. And we had ideas in place of what we wanted to do with it. But like we've done in the past, we implement a plan, we see how that develops, we see where our needs are, and then we fill those gaps with things meaningfully rather than just wasteful spending. And we consistently do not engage in wasteful spending.
Wasteful spending or turning money back as some other counties have done. Is it 118,403? Is that total? Okay, see that.
That's the year 3, which actually covers 18 months. It's,
You're keeping it straight.
yes.
Got it.
Right. Any questions for Sean or Melissa? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the, modification.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, Sean, you can sit down. Melissa has something for us.
So this is for the state food purchase program dollars. This is something we would normally do in August, but due to the budget impasse, we are a little behind on schedule. And we actually, as approved in the last public meeting, the total contract was $97,567.96. So you're listing, you have all the contracts there. Those are all the different contracts that we have. All of the food pantries and or soup kitchens that applied for funding, with this allotted amount, were able to get everything that they requested. And then what the board had decided to do was anything above and beyond that was the request, would just be split equally amongst the pantries. We got a significant increase this year. All of the pantries are thrilled that they have the additional dollars to spend, and especially with the changes in SNAP benefits, this is going to be really helpful to the community because I feel like more families are going to be utilizing food banks in order to make their food dollars stretch.
Okay, I'm not gonna read all these. These would be incorporated into the minutes, if anybody is interested. It looks like there are 6 pantries, though.
6 pantries and a soup kitchen, yes.
Okay. Okay, total $97,567.96. Any questions from Melissa?
Motion approved.
Second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to recess the public meeting, and Carol Attorney Hyde from CEDACOG will tell us about the CDBG funding.
Yes, thank you. Carol Carney High, CEDACOG. I am the project coordinator, working with Mifflin County Commissioners, Mifflin County Planning and Development, to assist with administration of, community development block grant funding. So we are familiar, I have been in front of you, before for CDBG entitlement grant application efforts. I'm here today to talk about CDBG set aside competitive grant program application. So a couple of housekeeping things. Since this is a public hearing, I'm circulating a sign-in sheet. There's not a lot of us left, but to document who's here for this public hearing. The process for any CDBG funding application is that we have a first public hearing to discuss the application process, the program, and also to collect comments, questions, and also to review project proposals. So that's what we're here for today. I want to distribute packets. Yes. Thanks here too. With answering questions about our proposed project. So these packets explain what the information I need to cover during this project. So to review, the Community Development Block Grant Program was created through an act of Congress. So these funds actually come from the Federal Housing and Urban Development Department. They are released from HUD to Pennsylvania, and for Mifflin County, the funding is administered and distributed through the State Department of Community and Economic Development. So Mifflin County receives an annual allocation. We're familiar with the process where the applications open in the spring. We have public hearings, and then we ultimately submit the application for those annual allocation funds in October or beginning of November. Each year, though, there's also a portion of the CDBG funding that comes to Pennsylvania that's set aside for competitive projects. These projects are typically larger in terms of project scope and project cost. The set aside funds can't be used for any of the municipalities that receive an annual allocation. These funds are for projects that primarily target non-entitlement communities within the county. And so in order to help spread the funding across Pennsylvania to the communities that need assistance the most. One of the fundamental eligibility requirements for projects is that most of the beneficiaries of the effort are individuals who have low to moderate income levels. So for these competitive grant funds, DCED ranks priorities in looking at the competitive applications. Their first priority is for water and sewer improvement projects. Second is for housing for primarily low to moderate income individuals. Third would be for resiliency projects. And that could be a lot of different efforts. As would their fourth ranking for community revitalization. There would be a lot of different options for those kinds of projects. All projects must meet a national objective, which we discussed mostly. That would be to benefit the low to moderate income individuals. So what any community nonprofit could, as with the annual allocation entitlement application, propose a project. We have advertised the availability of the competitive funds. The only project proposal we have at this time to consider is a project that I understand has been discussed for decades here, and this is to extend to actually create a new main water supply for primarily for the community of Juniata Terrace Borough, but also for some adjacent residential areas. The problem that's been identified for this proposed project is that Juniata Terrace's only source of water for human consumption comes from Lewistown Borough through a single pipe that's now corroded. This pipe is suspended next to a gas line under the State Road 103 bridge over the Juniata River. Repairs are not only difficult because of the way the pipe is suspended, but are also dangerous because it is right next to the gas line. Installation of a new water line under the bridge is not permitted. The existing water main was inspected in April 2021 using advanced video technology, which revealed excessive tuberculation, corrosion, which in some cases reduced the water flow of the old 12-inch pipe down to 8 to 5 inches, and in a few spots the incrustation was so thick that the camera inspection could not continue. So the health and safety of residents in Juniata Terrace Borough and the adjacent residential communities is at risk, as the existing water system is inadequate not only to supply clean water, but also to supply water at pressures necessary to suppress fires that spread quickly through Juniata Terrace's historic 103-year-old row homes. So in proposing this project, we've done some work. The Mifflin County Municipal Authority, Greg Bubbs here to answer any questions about more specific details about the water system. MCMA helped us to determine that residents of approximately 400 single-family homes in the public water service area will be the beneficiaries. Mifflin County staff, Juniata Terrace Borough staff, and Cedarquogue staff conducted a random sample demographic survey from mid-August to mid-September of this year, and determined that more than 72% of the residents in that service area are at a low to moderate income level. So the proposed solution, this project that we'd like to apply for the competitive funds, would be to request approximately $1,100,000 in CDBG competitive funds to extend a new 12-inch water main underground from the existing Lewistown Borough water line along Business 22, following Rosewood Avenue down to the river's edge, and then going underneath the Juniata River, up the other side of the river, connecting to newly installed pipes at Juniata Terrace Borough. The MCMA has been working with an experienced Pennsylvania engineering firm, HRG, Herbert Rowland and Rudick Incorporated, on the project's preliminary design. The estimated construction cost is $873,227.50. That does not include professional services and administration costs, so that's how we came up with the $1,100,000 total project cost. The funding plan for this, if you recall, in our 2025 entitlement grant, we have a line in Mifflin County's allocation. It's 75% of Mifflin County's 2025 allocation to fund the very first part of this project, which would be the extension from US 22 down to the water's edge. That scope is contained within this total project scope for the competitive application. So we basically, have already requested the beginning part of this, and the entitlement line in our 2025 annual application would be abandoned if we didn't get this competitive grant. If we did get the competitive grant, they would be merged. At this point, we do not know if there's a need for additional funding from local sources. We'll need to determine that after DCED reviews both the entitlement grant application and the competitive grant application. So the schedule for this application, we have advertised our intent to apply. This is our first public hearing. Second and final public hearing, we would propose to hold again during a commissioners meeting. We would recess, hold the public hearing on January 22nd. The application deadline is February 6th. And then just a note that DCD, HUD, and CDGB funding is not a fast proposition, so that best case scenario would be that both the applications will be reviewed and approved in spring and awarded in spring of 26. Even if that would happen, the earliest Mifflin County could anticipate receiving those funds would be fall of 2026. So at this point, I'll ask the vast number of us if there are any public comments, questions, concerns regarding this proposed project or any CDBG funded projects in Mifflin County.
Carol, could you speak of the requirement for the 75% match? Is that a
Yes.
requirement?
Yes, so going back to Jim asked about the requirement, it is the process to prepare for the competitive grant. One of the requirements the DCD looks for is that in our annual allocation application, we have set aside that at least 75% of the county's non-entitlement funding towards this bigger project. So basically, we are already putting money into this proposal
that would help out the competitive grant. Sorry, not super eloquent with that, but it's basically even though they're both CDBG funds, they come from two different pots of CDBG funding from the state. So we have the equity in basically before the competitive application goes through.
Okay, anything more for Carol? During this public hearing session.
So if there is no other comment, as we always have to do when we are getting ready to prepare an application for CDBG funds, we have to make sure, I'm on the agenda, I'm now looking at the regulatory requirements and announcements. We have to make sure that we do have a current fair housing notice, which Smithfield County does have. We have an anti-displacement plan. If any of our CDBG funded projects would displace any residents, we have a plan to make sure that they're taken care of. This project will not include any displacement of anyone. All CDBG funded efforts need to go through environmental impact reviews. Even the projects that we have one being reviewed for purchase of fire safety equipment, even though that's not a physical construction project, still has to have an environmental impact review. Section 3 preference, we see on the bottom of the agenda, there's a note that CDBG being federal funding through HUD does make a special effort to reach out to minority businesses, women-headed businesses, any groups that are determined to be disadvantaged. Section 504 is another requirement. Mifflin County does that all the time. Section 504 prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in any federally assisted programs, including those funded by CDBG. And this is the physical accessibility for projects and programs. So if there are no further comments, I'd like to adjourn the public hearing and
Okay, we'll adjourn the public hearing and reconvene the regular meeting to. Oh, we don't have an action on that.
no.
Okay. That was-
Thank you. I'm sorry about that. I should-
Right.
This is.
You're going to be back here on January 22nd.
Yes, sir. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Carol. Continuing though with CDBG program. We have two items. Madison Price. Explain the first one to us, please.
Yes, good morning. So this first item is for the subrecipient agreement with Oliver Township for the Lockwood Stormwater Improvement. So this is using federal fiscal year 2022 CDBG funding. So this project, 2022 funding, $9,522 is dedicated to the project with $6,140 over 8. And this subrecipient agreement is just outlines the administrative and financial responsibilities and Oliver Township.
Okay, and that was from the 2022
Correct.
year. Okay, any questions?
Motion.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and motion carries. Let's turn to the 2023 year.
So the next item is for federal fiscal year 2023, and this is for $79,628 toward the Lockport stormwater improvements. And again, it's just subrecipient agreement outlining the administrative and financial responsibilities between Oliver Township and our office.
Okay, we understand it's from 2023. Is there any questions from Madison?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Madison, thank you. Okay, next we have resolution number 11 of 2025. This is fixing the 2026 tax rates. The millage will remain the same at 15.77 mils, and we intend to collect $5 per capita. So there's no tax increase for Mifflin County in 2026. Any discussion on that, commissioners?
Motion to approve.
Second that.
Okay, congratulations. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The opposed. Motion carries. We have the adoption now of the 2026 budget. The budget has been on display. I just mentioned that there will be no millage increase for the county in 2026. Has been no increase in the county millage for the last 8 years, I believe, 9 years. Questions? Again, budget has been on display. Now we are adopting it for 2026.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Meeting schedules for 2026 been presented to us. Are there any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we should note that January 1st falling on Thursday, our January meetings will be the second and fourth Thursday in January. That'll be the 8th and the 22nd. The rest of the time, we'll be back to our first and third Thursday and fifth if necessary after that.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. And the meeting schedules for the prison board, salary board, board of elections, and retirement board are also listed and have been made part of the minutes. Okay, motion to accept the meeting schedule.
Second.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, selection of board officers for 2026.
I'll make the motion that we reappoint or sentence, if you will, Rob Postal to another year as president, and also myself, vice chair, and Commissioner Wise as secretary again.
I
Okay.
second that.
So postal chair, Codish vice chair, and Wise secretary. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, gentlemen. We have personnel items, promotion of Brian Fike, probation officer number 1 to probation officer number 2. Resignation of training and security corrections officer Ryan Snyder, that's effective December 16th. Appointment of Elizabeth Massey as an intern, DA's office, effective December 22nd. We have the hiring of Leslie Weston, second deputy pathonetary and clerk of courts, effective December 29th. We have the hiring of Olivia Ensman, part-time corrections officer, intern, effective December 29th. Motion for these 5 personnel items.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. There's nothing else to come before the board.